is making the game more clean, is helping the referees in taking correct decisions. But I think everyone who is a sportsman prefers to win a game based on the right decision of the referee and not based on a mistake of a referee.
Obviously, when you do the lines, you do the lines, and you actually look at off his shirt. You actually think how long these shirts are. I mean, would that have made a difference? You know, you have to make them shorter in some ways. He's actually getting grappled by the defender. It's going off the shirt now because the handball rules changed. And then you look at it and think, could there actually be a penalty? I think it's just frustrating for football fans that we're actually losing goals for situations like that. And at this moment, I was a massive fan of VAR before it came in. And what I mean by that is I think the people who brought VAR in, it wasn't to ruin the game. They were trying to improve the game, help the game. And I just think now we're at the stage where I think VAR, I think there's good things and bad things of it. But the majority of the people in this country, I don't think have bought VAR. I don't think people are enjoying the football as much. I'll tell you what was the biggest thing with me with VAR. He couldn't celebrate at the time. He had to stop and wait, and he's looking at the official thinking, please God, make sure my foot doesn't come off that line. He couldn't celebrate that moment. And I think that's a big thing with supporters now.
But have you got a problem with this one?
No, look, I was for VAR, I'm still for it. It's creating bigger problems for the game. Do we want accurate decisions? Yes. Footballers and coaches for 25, 30, 40 years have complained about referees and lack of accuracy. These referees are not good enough, they can't keep up with the game. So we've brought VAR in for the correct reasons.
In a dramatic twist that has sent shockwaves through English football, FIFA has reportedly intervened to award Arsenal 3 points following what many fans and pundits described as a sequence of damaging VAR errors in recent fixtures against Manchester United, Brentford, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. The controversy began to build over the past few weeks as Arsenal supporters grew increasingly frustrated with a string of contentious officiating decisions. Against Manchester United, the Gunners were widely believed to have been denied a clear penalty after a late challenge inside the box went unpunished following a VAR review. The incident proved pivotal in a match that ultimately slipped away from Mikel Arteta's side, intensifying scrutiny on the consistency of video officiating. The frustration did not end there. In the clash with Brentford, Arsenal again found themselves on the wrong side of technology when a marginal offside call wiped out what could have been a decisive goal. Replays circulated widely on social media, with many analysts arguing that the lines drawn during the review raised more questions than answers. The sense of injustice only deepened when another tight call went against the North London club in their encounter with Wolves, fueling the narrative that Arsenal were being disproportionately punished by fine-margin decisions. According to the circulating reports, FIFA's review panel examined the sequence of incidents after formal complaints were lodged. While such retroactive intervention is extraordinarily rare in top-flight football, the alleged decision to award Arsenal 3 points is being framed by supporters as long overdue recognition of what they view as cumulative officiating failures rather than a single isolated mistake. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has previously been vocal about the need for greater clarity and accountability in the use of VAR. Speaking after one of the disputed matches, he stressed that clubs simply want consistency and transparency, sentiments that have been echoed by several Premier League figures this season. Former players and pundits have also weighed in, arguing that while VAR was introduced to eliminate clear and obvious errors, its application has at times created fresh controversy instead of resolving it. Critics of the reported decision, however, warned that retroactively awarding points could open a dangerous precedent. Football has historically been reluctant to alter match results once the final whistle has blown, even in the face of officiating mistakes. Opponents argue that human error, whether by referees or technology, has always been part of the game's fabric, and changing outcomes after the fact risks undermining competitive integrity. Supporters of Arsenal see it differently. For them, the situation represents a test case for whether governing bodies are truly willing to hold officiating systems accountable when multiple high-impact errors occur. Many fans have taken to social platforms insisting that the move, if confirmed, is less about favouritism and more about restoring sporting fairness. As debate continues to rage, one thing is certain: the VAR conversation is far from over. Whether this reported intervention proves to be a one-off response to exceptional circumstances or the beginning of a new era of post-match reviews remains to be seen. What is clear is that trust in the system remains fragile, and every major decision from here on will be scrutinised more intensely than ever. For Arsenal, though, the immediate focus will be on maintaining momentum on the pitch, because in football, controversies may dominate headlines, but performances ultimately define seasons.